the other day I was thinking, I just got to get some better backgrounds, But like when you're doing a PSA returns and you got this many to go through, it's a pretty sick background. So anyway, hey guys, it's Jim at Pokemon here. We're doing a PSA returns, and I do not know the grades if this is your first time watching. So pretty much 10 cards get graded, wait about a year, sometimes 2, and then when they get back, you're all surprised because you don't know. Some people look online, they can't wait those 2 or 3 days. They're usually the early, ones. They can't, keep it together. And this would be the first time we know. So I thought this might have been a Vending Series 3 returns, but it looks like it's English. So let's see what we got. Man, that's a good looking video, right? Oh, dude, Jim at 10, Revelation. This is going to be nice. So I'm guessing this is a lot of Neo, common, uncommon. Oh, we got to smooch them. Let's see if we can make sure this lighting is good. Because if we're going to have these beautiful cards, we need to make sure they look good on camera. Oh, man. So Neo Rev was actually probably one of the first sets I ever put together. Oh, we're getting duplicates. That's pretty good. Dude, trifecta. Oh, man, I was like, dude, no way. Oh, man, I was like, no way, that would have been sick. So I sent these off like a long time ago. So really, like, what's inside is kind of a mystery. I mean, I know what I sent, but like, this was a long time ago. So that's kind of cool. So, I mean, it's finally nice to actually get some stuff back, complete some goals. Neo Rev was probably one of the first sets I put together just because the hollows are so hard and the set's kind of small. I was like, let's just knock out this like 64 card set like really fast. And then I had one really good returns like back in 2015 or so, and it basically just like finished that set off for me. Oh, wow. So this is going to be a lot in a row. And I think because we have a lot of dupes, I think I'm just going to turn these over. That way it's a little bit faster for you guys. So we got Shuckle. Uh-oh. Maybe there's only one Shuckle. I don't know. Skiploom. Skip 9. But, I mean, this is pretty good grades, though. I mean, if you're asking. Now, I did send off, like, a ton of duplicates. I know I had a lot, like, built up over the years. So if you guys know, like, Justin, Crack Rock McCabe's, I basically bought out his a lot of his boxes and stuff from years and years ago. A lot of Pack Fresh cards he opened, and then again, this was back before all this stuff was worth anything. I was just like, hey, like I need to complete these sets at some point. I could either open these boxes or, since I've already got the hollows, like why not just buy someone else's boxes? So if you can do that, it's usually a pretty good way to go. And I think, oh, dude, whoa, man. I thought it was going to be a bunch more Neo Rev. Look at that. Isn't this like the most beautiful card? Like that is just... Man, that would have been a really good surprise, too. Oh, man, I just didn't want to, like, go over it over again. Oh, man, that's such a pretty card. Dude, like Jolteon, like Golduck. I think if WotC would have stopped at Neodestiny, I think Neodestiny would have been a lot more people's favorite sets. But I think because it went on to, Expedition, which I think is a phenomenal set. Man, do we not get one Golduck 10? Uh-oh. Danger Zone. Flareon's pretty cool, though. Light Flareon, that's pretty nice. But it looks like we still need a light Golduck 10. 4 9s in a row. I mean, I think Expedition's pretty amazing. Aquapolis obviously has a Crystal Lugia. Gets a lot of heat for that. Just people love it. And then that's like centering issues. So top to bottom, I think that's probably why I got the 9. Then Skyridge is just like another level. It's just an amazing set. And these old school like Neodestiny artworks, they just seem like so nostalgic. I mean, it's literally like before all the 3D art came in. I mean, not like that, but there's a lot more CGI, let's say, in E-Series, like Expedition, Aquapolis, and Skyridge. But I feel like the Neo series, you have a lot more cards that just stick true to like kind of the traditional like art form. So you get like really cool artworks like this. And maybe it's just like this is like the old school card layout where you have a yellow border, it's all centered, it looks nice. And like E-Series takes a long time to like grow on you, if you know what I mean. Like when I was a kid, I did not like E-Series. I did not. I remember that distinctly. Uh-oh, we got some 8s. Oh, look at that Wigglytuff, man. You ever think Wigglytuff could be mean? Hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. All right. So we got some nice Neodestiny. That's actually pretty good. I think when you get a returns like this, where, I mean, I'm sure this is probably gonna be like an hour-long thing, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. But just tell a few stories, kind of go through it, and then hopefully complete some collection goals. See, that's what Wigglytuff should look like. Out in the field, all nice, not gonna kill you. Dude, oh my gosh. All right, so we got the 9. Uh-oh. Danger zone. Man, we're getting the 8s. Dude, when we hit some 10s at the beginning, I was like, dude, solid returns. 10s all the way. Complete some sets. We're good. And it looks like... that's a really good looking 8. Oh my gosh. Dude, if we were doing this and I was guessing the grades, I would be guessing this is a 10. Oh my gosh, that's like a perfect card. I mean, like, centering's not perfect top to bottom, but like, oh my gosh, man. Maybe this one should have been the 8 and the other one should have been the 9 or the 10 or whatever. I don't know. That was, that was a really good looking 8. All right, there we go. We got 1 10 Vaporeon. I'll take it. 2 10 Vaporeons. I couldn't get 3. If we get 3, that would just be too much to ask for. But the cool part is, I'm just looking for 1 of everything. So it's like, if you get duplicates, it's great because you can, obviously people want 10s more than they want, some of the other grades. And plus 10s go for more, so it kind of helps pay for the returns, pay for the submission. So a lot of times this is the way a lot of people collect. And I was listening to one like pretty, oh, dude, I thought we had more like Jolteons. Pretty successful like sports card collector. And he was going through a few things, and he was like, of all the cards I send off, I usually keep around 10% of them. Like if he sent it off, maybe a couple hundred or so. So 10% of them are collection buys. Then I think it was like 20% are cards that I'm going to hold for like more than 2 years. Then I think like maybe 20 or 30% are cards he's going to hold for 6 months. They're just going to kind of see with the ebbs and flow of the market. Like obviously, it's better to sell around Christmas time than it is January, February. So, everyone wants to buy gifts and this and that, and you just get a lot of overflow from the larger market. So when you buy in January, where people like have no money, a lot of times people are selling pretty cheap and they're selling pretty short. They want to just, they're trying to raise some cash. So a lot of times waiting to buy like January, February, March, it's a great time. I think also what I'm starting to notice is August is actually a really good time to buy as well too. And I think that I was actually talking to people about this the other day. I was like, is it like going back to school? Like what is it about August? Because it just seems like I'm starting to see more and more deals pop up in August where somebody will hit me up and they've got like $10,000 worth of cards and they're like, hey, like I need to sell this today. Like, can you pay me tomorrow or pay me today? And they're willing to accept like 60, 70% of card value. And it's like, if there's certain things I don't want, but like you want to sell me something for like 60% of what it's worth, like, yeah, like absolutely, I can help you get over whatever hurdle you need to. But at the same time, like they recognize like, hey, like I'm buying this because I'm gonna, resell it to someone else at like, the larger market per se. And so, I mean, that's pretty much like, it's like almost like operating a card store, which, I'd very much treat this as a hobby, but when opportunities are in front of you, you got to like take them. And so it is kind of interesting, but there's some things like you can just tell the risk and stuff. Like you don't want to speculate. Look at that, a little dirt on the case. And I think when things are more risky, obviously you got to pay a lower price. So like when you have like highly speculative like error cards, like I think some of us are like, man, this is like some big time stuff. Like this stuff's hard to find. Like it's not appreciated. Well, it's like when you got that risk and there's not that many people. It's like really the price should be lower to compensate the risk until like it's proven, until more people want it, until there's demand, and until like all this other stuff. So I think the riskier like an asset is, the more. I got a feeling. Oh, dude, really, man. They got the runt, man. Somebody will love you someday. It's okay, little runt. That would have been really cool. So we had 3. I don't know if you guys can tell, but like there are so many boxes, but that's we're just gonna keep on going. I think this like opening probably would be better as like a live chat or something, because that way like I could just like answer questions and talk to you guys. Oh man, this one's like Dude, this is gonna be the tightest tape I've ever seen. You see how tight that was pulling? Like it wasn't even given. And then you can just get some questions pop up on the screen, and then I know like Pokenomics, like he does like those 2 or 3 hour card chats like every week. And dude, props to you, number one, for being consistent, and number two, for like constantly just adding value to a lot of people that are out there. So yeah, obviously, like I think I collect for fun. I love the hobby. I love, you know, the enjoyment of everything. But like if things go to zero, like I think I'm still collecting. Like I'm still, you know. But there's some people that, you know, they love the hobby and they want to do more with it. They want to involve it in other parts of their life, such as the investment part of it. And so when people are willing to do those things, it's kind of cool and it kind of plays out. So I think you try to dibble and dabble a little bit, but you know, it's just once you're committed to that, then it kind of alters your whole like career path and life and, you know, all those things. All right, we're about to get a lot of snubbles, and I'm not trying to get snubbed here, if you know what I mean. All right, oh my gosh, dude, we're about to hit a 10 streak. We're about to hit a 10 streak, 10 Zubat. Oh, is it blurry for you guys? I don't want it to be blurry. That wouldn't be good. All right. All right, so we got 9. Oh, dude, we about to get a lot of 9Ks. That wouldn't be good, so we'll take 110. I mean, it's kind of cool to go through these and see. So a lot of times when I send off cards and I'm sending off a bunch at once, like I usually send like 2 or 3 of each copy, and then I'll make another sub and send 2 or 3 of that copy again. Just because like if you get like a really like rough grader, and what I mean by rough is, let me grab the next 9 that we have. It might be it might be a little while until we get to that next 9, but if you get like a rough grader, and let's say like this 8, like it has a little corner nick up there. Like obviously this person gave this an 8, and I don't really see any other defects on it. Centering's pretty good, but like another grader might give that a 9 because look, there's no edge wear anywhere. These corners look good. A little factory nick up here, little maybe something up here, definitely something up here. But it's like I could totally see someone else giving this a 9. So like me getting this back an 8, if I send off like 10 of these and they all have the same thing, now I've got 10 8s. Whereas if I send 3 here, 3 here, you know. So like grading obviously, you know, follows like a set of standards. Like the goal is to be as objective as possible while using humans as their sort of judge and jury when it comes to like actually giving a grade. And so humans, you know, we're all subjective by nature. So objective is like just following, you know, facts and opinion and, you know, sticking to this. And subjective is saying, well, you know, I kind of feel this way, or I kind of feel that way. And so a human going through this, they might say, well, I kind of feel this is a 9, or I kind of feel this is a 10. And so the back, you know, left to right isn't perfect, but it still might be within those 10 subgrades. So again, they gave this a 10, but, you know, I could see the other graders saying, well, you know, that back it just feels a little weird. Like I wouldn't give a Mickey Mantle a 10. And so that's where it kind of comes into play. And I think all grading companies, this is definitely not a 10. You can see that top to bottom, that centering. Oh man, got lucky. Oh yeah, Bloomberry is a really hard card to grade because it does have some typical whatever. And I struggled getting this card. This is actually the last Zero card I needed. Yeah, but you know, it happens. So I mean, the front of that looked really good. So who knows? But I think grading companies, to a large part, they try to get everyone on the same page. And, you know, I talked to a few of them, and I just kind of try to get some feedback, or, hey, why is this, or why is that? And it's not like I'm talking to, like, you know, the head of grading or anything. I just, you know, some people that work there, like, hey, like, what is this? What do you guys do? Or, you know, how's this go? And I think one of the hard parts about having multiple grading locations is it's really hard to have consistency amongst the whole company if people are physically in different areas. That's why you got to physically come in to grade cards. So when COVID hit and everyone's now working from home, you have to have the graders come in to be able to grade. So I mean, keep that in mind. Like last year, grading was shut down for pretty much all graders for a little bit. And so I think grading companies could open in other locations and could you know, expand their horizon. But the hard part is like, how do you make sure that the guy graded 1957 tops Mickey Mantle and, you know, LA is the same person in Florida or Dallas or wherever that Rockets hideout is still following those same standards. And so that's really the hard part. And I think if that problem was easier to solve then I think you'd have a much larger scope and much larger reach of grading companies. I think, for one, I think PSA would be in Europe. I think they would also be in Asia. Oh man, 9. See, I do this and it doesn't like focus as well, so that's why I don't necessarily want to keep doing it like where I just hold them up like this, But I think you would see Chansey. I think you would see a lot more. No, we didn't get a single. We didn't get a single PSA 10 Chansey. But I think you'd see a lot more people grading. I think it would be more favorable to those people grading in Europe if they had a grading company they could just go to that is like a PSA or Beckett or CGC. I know there's a ton of grading companies popping up, and that literally is like a whole other topic that we got plenty of time to go through, so we could go through it right now. All of these grading companies that are popping up, I would say like 95% of them are going to fail. And when I say fail, I mean they're not going to take the majority of market share. They're not going to be someone who has 25% of the market. I think of the broader card market. Now, obviously, one of these guys can start grading Weiss Schwartz and be the Weiss Schwartz expert, and they hire the guys that print all the Weiss Schwartz cards and all this and that, and they have a monopoly on that. Like, I think that's totally possible, and that might be the right way to go about it, especially since there's a lot of things that PSA does not grade. All right, we got one more box back here. I'll take this over here, push these back. Since there's a lot of things that PSA doesn't grade, and so I think there's a lot of opportunity there to step in. Like, I have a lot of Harry Potter cards, a lot of Harry Potter booster boxes, a lot of loose cards. I was buying sets there for a while. Like, I was trying to buy like base sets for like $150, $200 with all the hollows. Like, I thought that was just crazy. You get a Harry Potter like mirror foil, and I've never graded really any of them. And my thought is I'd love to keep it all uniform. So I thought about mixing up going Beckett, but Beckett's just so expensive to even get subgrades and stuff that I was like, I just don't know if I'm going to grade that many, because essentially, like, that would mean I'm just grading the hollows, and then I would never grade the non-hollows because I don't want to pay like a couple $1,000 for them to tell me these 2-cent Harry Potter cards are gem mint. Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense. This is an 8. And so I was like, well, you could do CGC, you could do no subgrades. The CGC was very affordable, low cost, and then just competition kind of cranked up, and I'm sure it costs a lot of money to run a company and social media and materials, supplies. Like, I mean, there's a ton of things that go into it. You got overhead, and they have their like academy thing too. So, they raise their prices, and so it's kind of hard to do that now. But like, if there's another grading company that's willing to do it, I think it'd be kind of cool. I did meet one grading company. It was like AGS, I think. It was like automated grading service or something like that. And they had a cool value prop because they graded everything with a robot. And I think there's some things that are really big hurdles to get over. But like, you could do centering, you could do certain things. And if you had like a big card database, like, you could literally just have everything like locked in. Where you like, okay, like, I have 100 pictures of this fanfy. I know kind of what's different with the one I'm grading. But, it's also hard because it's like, what's the perfect grade? So I think personally that a Jungle first edition, let's say, holofoil should be graded differently than, let's say, let me think about this, than an Aquapolis holofoil. So I think Aquapolis, tends to have a lot of corner nicks in the back, and I think they're very light, they're very subtle. They don't happen too often. I mean, they're not like too deep, but they're little light nicks in the back, and almost every Aquapolis card has them. Well, Jungle doesn't really have a lot of corner nicks in the back, but they've got a ton of silvering. So like on the border, they have a ton of silvering up and down on that right side and the top. And for a while there, and even Neodestiny has the same issue as Jungle. Like, Neodestiny and Jungle, very, very similar, except, ooh. Do you see something just like fall down right there? Was that, oh. I was like, what is that? That is like the weirdest thing. Oh my gosh. And, uh-oh, we're going on a 10th streak. We're going streaking. Here we go, boys. Nice. And, where's my thought at? And basically, Neodestiny had like no PSA 10s for the longest time. If there were very few and far between. No one was getting 10s. No one was really grading them. And I think a lot of that was because of silvering. And then one day, PSA started treating silvering not as harshly, in my opinion. And then you started getting a lot more 10s where they all had light silvering on the side. Now I think if you have a set, like a quadless, that's just, it looks almost pristine out of the package. Just such a beautiful set, such beautiful cards, great artwork, great production, quality, everything. I think everything looks really, really good. And if you open a pack fresh cards, I think you have a much higher chance of getting 10s than opening something like Jungle or Unlimited Base. Unlimited Base is just one of the sloppiest print runs because there's so much of it, and their goal was quantity, not quality. Let's be honest. And yeah, so like I think you treat those two sets differently, and I don't think it's like you're following a different grading standard. I think it's just you just have an intimate knowledge of how the cards are produced, and that's just the way that they are. And so I think some people differ on that a little bit. Like a 10 should be a perfect card. So like in my opinion, like should there ever really be a Jungle first edition holographic 10? Probably not. If there is, I've never seen it. And maybe it followed a different print run, or maybe the employees were testing something and they had some really sharp blades there. That's kind of like the pre-Fable story as well, how there'll never be a pre-release Fable 10 just because the way that they were produced. They're just like, no one has ever seen like even like a mint copy that was like maybe had some scratches or was played with that like could have been there. Like there's not even a copy that's like even close. It's like unreal. All right, man, dude, this is gonna be a long time. All right, dude, these videos might need to be multiple parts. We are 22 minutes in, and I don't know what box we're on. We're on box 9 to 20. Oh man, here we go. Let's get some 9s, get some 10s, get something. Totodile, there we go. Another PSA 10 Totodile. We'll take that. That's pretty nice. Totodile PSA 10. All right, how many Totodiles we got? We only had one more, and it's a 10. Maybe I should like go through these at some point, like beforehand, and literally just like that way I could just kind of only show you like one copy of each. But then I feel like it's almost like a service, because I want to show you guys like everything as I see them, as I get them. And yeah, I get like maybe the hollow foil returns when it's like a bigger impact, or it's like what you pull as a kid. You love the hollow foils. Like I get that that's like probably maybe a little bit different, just as far as just like the experience and stuff. And I don't want to think like the non-hollows are just more like crossing a card off a list, because I still want to look at it and be like, wow, that's a really cool unknown S. Like you got the unknown wall in the background, S. And I mean, I got friends that were trying to complete the unknown stuff from the EX series, and like, it's kind of hard to do. And so, but at the same time, it's like some of these cards are just going to be kind of a pain to get, as far as just like literally going through every common and uncommon. In the back of my head, I was like, all right, the hollow's going to be tough. You get one every 3 packs. Everyone's chasing the hollows. No one's going to sell them. Everyone's going to tighten down, and the hollow's just going to be impossible to get. And then, you get to the commons and uncommons, and it's like, geez, I'm paying just as much for some of these like uncommons as I did for the hollows. The only difference is like 8 years are between like when I got the hollow and when I'm like buying the uncommon. And I think I probably could have done a lot of this stuff like a couple of years ago. Well, I guess when grading cards was cheaper and this and that. But my thing is, I was like, dude, like I remember when I was 2014, maybe I think it was 2013. I was selling some first edition Jungle PSA 9 hollows for like $30. Buy it now, ship to Australia. And the guy was buying like 3 or 4 of them. And I remember thinking in the back of my head, like, dude, with this shipping and all this stuff, I'm getting $120. Like, that's crazy. You're getting $120 for Pokemon cards. And I was like, my margins are so thin, because I think I got those cards for like $15 each or something. And these were extras. So again, my goal was one of every card. It wasn't to collect 1,000 of the same card, which I kind of feel like that's what I'm doing right now. Dude, this is going to take a long time to go through, long time to process and sell and all that. And so, yeah, I was letting them go, and it was like, I don't know if it's worth it, just for a couple dollars each card. But then at the same time, I was like, it's like it's letting you buy the cards. That 120, 60 of that might have gone to buy a first edition Hollow Haunter. Then 80 of that might have gone to buy a Gengar or something. And like that was just what things went for, and I'm talking Gengar PSA 10 from Fossil. Uh-oh, dude, we're on a slow streak. I think they hit the 10 quota. we're hitting the 10 quota. We're not giving out. Uh-oh, I'm putting these in the wrong stacks now. We're gonna be in trouble here. Oh, come on now. Dude, I'm really putting these in the wrong stacks. Oh my gosh, come on, dude. Just give it 10. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh man. Dude, oh, the pain. What's going on with these? Like, that's a really good looking 9. I mean, that's a really good looking 9. Sometimes in the back of my head, I'm like, you're not completing this set. This is going to be a 9. My gosh. That's a really good looking 9. Oh, man. I don't want to, like, crack out, like, Neodestiny uncommons. But, dude, those are... These are really good looking 9s. Watch, this one's going to be all messed up in the back. I mean, centering, maybe top to bottom. I don't know. I mean, that's... She's a beauty. I mean, that's a pack fresh beauty. Yeah, I mean, that's also the other thing. It's like, think about how many cards you're sitting around at home. And think about, like, the new cost of grade's like $20. Obviously, if you're going to, like, send bulk or whatever, that's like the low right now. I think that'll change at some point, but that's just kind of what it is until PSA opens back up. And let's say you got like 100 cards that are like near mint to mint, and you're like a 10 card minimum to send 20 cards in or whatever. And so you go home, you look at it, and you're like, well, I don't want to send this one. I might get an 8 or a 7, so I'm not going to send that. Well, I'm not going to send that. Let's say you get that list all the way down to, like, let's say 20 cards. Then you go through them again, you start looking. Oh, dude, I almost said something I shouldn't have said. 8? You kidding me? These are pack fresh cards. Oh my gosh. And you get that 20, you get it all the way down like 15 or 10 or whatever. And so before you send these cards off, you literally had like 100, and now you're sending like your 10 best cards. Like, you've looked these over more than anyone else is ever going to look at these cards in all of eternity. And you send these off, and you feel really confident about what they're going to get. And the point I'm trying to make is you can send off any sub, any amount. Getting all 10s in a sub, see, this is the type of topic we're talking about right now. Excellent topic. It's really hard to do. I mean, I think some people just full send whatever they got in front of them. They just go for it. But, I mean, even if you got the most perfect cards, it's just, I don't know if it's like bias or whatever, but, I mean, how many people do you see send and they get nothing but 10s, but PSA 10s? Then how many of those people, ooh, that's a beautiful card. Look at all that blue, man. That's a good-looking card. And how many of those people that send literally just, like, comb over their cards right and left? And so I do see some frustration with people where, and I know I'm that way too. I'm like I'm not sending a bunch of junk. Like, I'm not going to send you a bunch of 7s and 8s. And, like, if I'm talking about cards that, like, as a 7, that might be like a $10 card. Like, like I'm not going to pay $20 to get a $10 card back. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying these cards aren't worth anything. I'm just saying that, you're not going to put yourself in the hole on something. You're going to make a smart decision, unless it's like completing a set or just something kind of nuts, if you know what I mean. It's a weird looking Psyduck, man. So the cool part about going through these videos, you can actually see, like, that Psyduck either has the biggest, like, bill I've ever seen. That's like the weirdest looking Psyduck. Okay. I cannot tell you one time in my life I've ever, like, looked at that Psyduck like that. Like, someone could have replaced all these cards and made a fake image and just throw it in the middle of a sub and be like, hey man, like, got your Psyducks. I'd be like, what the heck? What is going on with that Psyduck, man? That's just, I don't know. That's just kind of weird. Like, I'm still like baffled by it. Just thinking about that Psyduck. Big old stacks, man. All right. PSA Set Registry Awards. They all came out recently. I think it's kind of funny because there was some stuff that happened where I think not all the sets got the 2021 designation or something. I thought that was kind of, I was like, what's going on? Some people called it out. I made the mistake a couple years ago whenever I get a PSA Returns back, and it was like, do you want to add all these to your inventory? I was like, yeah, click all. And it's like, that way I know. And the problem with that is I probably get a couple emails. I get a handful a week, but sometimes I get 2 or 3 a day. And when you get one, sometimes I send a bunch in a row and I just don't see it. And it's like, hey, take this card out of your inventory. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a set or not. Like, I don't know if some random person is coming online and it's like trying to add a card or whatever. So it's one of my goals at some point to literally go through every card and all the cert numbers and just make sure everything matches and stuff. Because there's just a ton of stuff in my inventory that like I sold like a long time ago. Like, I was adding like 7s, 8s, like hollow full cards, like everything you could think of, basically, to the inventory. And I probably shouldn't have, because I knew I wasn't intending on collecting all that stuff or like keeping some of that stuff, especially when it's doubles. Like when you get double heal power, the only way I'd probably ever own 2 of those cards is literally if like I'm building like 2 Neodestiny like non-hollow sets. Like, that's just the only way I could ever see that like happening. All right, why we have so many of these heal powder? Oh my gosh, dude! Stop sending the heal powders. There we go. We got some mail from Bill. You ever hear that song? It's like Bill Nye the Science Guy. That's what I see every time I see a Bill. So I don't want to think about how sad it is to go to work every day in a white collar and a tie and just look at a computer all day. Because if I do, I start thinking about myself, how sad that reality is. So I don't know. Man, there's just so much stuff going on in the hobby. It's just hard to like even comprehend what's going on. Like, I thought that there was like never ever going to be an opportunity where there's like a, I guess you could say, a job in the hobby that could afford the best of the best in the hobby. So like if I wanted to buy like, let's say, a Pikachu Illustrator, like I don't know if there's a job in the hobby that would give me the opportunity to afford a Pikachu Illustrator. And so I think that was always a fear of mine. It's like, well, I got to keep a job outside of Pokemon, because if I don't, then there's some things that I may never, ever be able to buy. I think that's honestly probably the biggest reason why I probably haven't gone Pokemon full time, is because I think if I keep on a good road and keep doing well, keep getting great reviews, keep moving up, that, there's a chance that, you could buy some of those big cards outside of what's in Pokemon. But I think recently I've discovered a few opportunities that are extremely well compensated that I didn't even know existed, that were even real opportunities that were like out there. And it's kind of like changed my view a little bit. I'm like, well, maybe I could go Pokemon, or I could do this or that. Because, there's the whole like social media, what we're doing right now, which is me kind of going through my like collecting experience and sharing it with you guys. But, unless like I started showing my face in some of these videos and getting more interactive and, open a Patreon, or, do something where like, hey, if you need advice, I can help you. Or like, it's less focused on like what I'm doing and more focused on like what you're doing. And it's like us connecting and us going through that and you having experience. And because the entertainment factor, like, unless I'm making videos with editing and like all that stuff, like there's just going to be cooler people out there. I think the one thing that I kind of hit that I think a lot of other people don't hit is I think I'm really relatable. I think I do things at a larger scale than maybe a lot of people. Like a 6, that's pretty relatable. Trust me, getting a 6-pack, like that's relatable. Like why is that a 6? It's probably got a dent somewhere. Yeah, right there. You see it? Right there. Right there. They caught it. Oh, I couldn't sneak it by. Because I remember sending that in. No, I don't. I don't remember that at all. But, at some point, like, I think some people are like, man, like, the struggle's real. Like, I kind of stopped buying a lot of loose cards on eBay because it's like they get in and they don't look as good. You could go on eBay in 2012 and buy whatever you wanted, grade it, and you were, man, sitting pretty. But now it's like you got to find that guy that has been sitting on his collection for 20 years, and for whatever reason, he's like, hey, I want to sell it to this other random guy I met online before I give the whole world a chance to buy it. It's like, it makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're ever going to sell something obscure or something rare or something that's like has potential, why wouldn't you go to like the biggest marketplace and just see if there's anyone else out there that feels the same way? I don't know. I think some people just want to sell to family and friends or just sell to people they know or whatever. And so a lot of times why people that want to sell, I'll just be like, hey man, like you should really like do this, this, and this. You can like maximize like what you're doing. And so, yeah, I don't understand why more people just don't go to eBay or one of the big auction houses or something and be like, hey, I'm going to sell this way because this is just a much better way to go about this. But there still are tons of deals. And I think, a lot of people have that sort of fear of like, man, the deal's going to run out, or like, there's only so many you can find. Well, dude, I got news for you, man. Like, think about how many Neo Rev boxes you think they made, and then just like multiply that by 10. And yeah, I think if something's first edition, maybe more people held it. More people probably didn't open it and stuff. But like, they made a ton of this stuff. Oh my gosh, this is going to take a long time. What are we at, 36 minutes? If you're still watching right now, that's awesome. Because this is literally a lot of Neo Rev and Neodestiny. The good news is it's all first edition. I mean, that's kind of cool. I know I have another one of these subs that is unlimited. I don't think it's as big because I don't think I threw Neo Rev in there with it. But I think I was going to do these two different subs, and I was like, let's just throw these together. And I'm kind of amazed at how many PSA 10s there are because, one, every Neo Rev card is basically going to be available because I completed Neo Rev a long time ago. And like, I'm not going to go through these cards and be like, wow, this Chin Chow is like a better PSA 10 than the one I graded like 5 years ago. It's like, no, I'm just going to take these and sell. I think some people kind of comb over and, they want to keep, and it's like, no, I got what I got, and I'm happy with the 10. I mean, that does kind of perpetuate the you're buying the label over the card sort of theory. But, oh man, I do not want to crash this stack. But at the same time, yeah, we got another one back here. Oh man, dude, there's so many cards. There are so many cards. My goal for this video is to finish this video without moving any of these stacks. We're just gonna keep it going, but I think at some point, like, push is gonna come to shove, and we might have to move some of these stacks. Oh man, but I think in like a year or two of like where the hobby went through so much change, so many people changed, so many people sold things they wish they wouldn't have sold because the dollar in front of them. Not everyone lives in a 54 high rise overlooking a city. Some people live with a couple families. Some people share a room with more than one person. So everyone's situation is different. I think you just got to respect that. And you got to respect kind of like what people are going through and stuff. And let's just make some room right now. And so like why some people sell, sometimes it's just not our business, if you know what I mean. All right, we're going to figure this out. So I think a lot of people probably regret it. They probably wish they would have held on to more. And it's really tough to hear that stuff because you don't want anyone to ever regret anything. But at the same time, like, it's like you can kind of understand where people are coming from. Because, I mean, there's things that I sold for like probably $8,000 that, if I would have just taken a little slightly different approach, maybe I could have got $40,000 like 6 months later. I mean, that's a very real example. Talking about Aquapolis. And that's probably maybe not necessarily a $40,000 box right now. But I think at one point there probably were people that were willing to pay that. So I go through the same thing. It's just different scales and stuff. And I was actually talking to a collector on Instagram who is much younger than I am. but very, loves collecting, always about the hobby and stuff, and was someone that literally was around years ago, like years ago. I know I did a couple deals with her. I think her name's like Trainer Chaspin, and she just came back to Instagram maybe like after a year or two hiatus, and it was like, man, I regret selling a lot of stuff. And I think if you're a younger kid, and someone's like, hey, I'll give you this money or whatever, it's kind of hard to say no, especially without knowing anyone's living situation. And so I told her, I was like, just collect for fun, just collect as a hobby, just collect what you love. And a lot of people's hobbies, like, it goes to zero. A lot of people's hobbies, like, there's no value retained. There's no value left. Like, it's like what you buy is like worthless. And remember back when we were all kids in like 99 and like early 2000s, like a lot of people threw out their Pokemon cards. Like when they were done collecting, their parents just threw them out. So the goal of like participating in that hobby and enjoying it and going to those events and the weekends and, staying up late and having a slumber party, sleep over and, hang out with friends, all that, like the goal wasn't to resell those experiences and those moments. The goal was to enjoy the moment. So I told her, I was like, hey, literally just collect for fun. If it goes up, like that's a good problem to have. Like, isn't that amazing that you can do something you enjoy and it's just a great experience? And it's like, if it goes up, like, wow, like that's so cool. And if it doesn't, like, who cares? Like you didn't even care if it went up anyway. You were just here. And so I think you just change your perspective and your mindset. And if I didn't have that mindset way back when, I probably, one, would have sold out really early. And two, well, kind of pairing that together is I wouldn't have had nearly as much inventory as I did when the booms happened. And again, there were multiple booms. So Pokemon Go was probably one of the biggest and earliest, and I think it was just the attention on Pokemon versus like the app itself. I think it was literally the whole hobby sort of coming together. And keep in mind, like that was the 20th anniversary. Like there was still a lot of reason to be like celebrating Pokemon that year, and just keep that in mind. And then I think the next one, there's something in like 2018. Maybe it was the Pokemon live action movie, Detective Pikachu. That was really cool. I wasn't necessarily a big fan of the movie, but I thought it was a huge risk. I thought it was Pokemon doing, like, they're very like conservative by the book. Like, we will do no wrong. Our image is perfect. Like, Dratini can never get hurt. Dratini is always available. Kyrie Irving gets hurt. Kyrie Irving's cards tank. And so for Pokemon to do like the realism piece, and like it's almost like Disney like risking the magic. It's like Disney would never risk the magic. They're almost more progressive, if anything. And so for Pokemon to literally like do the live action thing, where there are some dark twists and stuff. And I think when you have a cartoon, sometimes you can go a little darker, but it's a cartoon. But like when you have that live action piece, like that's a really risky movie. And so for them to take that action and make that and go with it, I was like, man, that's like pretty cool. And so I really love that part of it for the whole like just Detective Pikachu thing. But and then I think the next boom was like the Logan Paul boom, which really was like the COVID boom that just accelerated. And then kind of out of nowhere, like Logan Paul was like, hey, I love Pokemon. And then it just exploded because the whole market was going up. And everyone that's been in the market and everyone that's like familiar with how it reacts and how hard it is to move certain things, how hard it is to sell certain things, and kind of how illiquid certain things are, that, like a stock, I could go to the market today and be like, hey, I'm going to sell this stock. And the market will be like, okay, I'll take it. Like, maybe like I'll give you a couple cents less, or I'll give you a couple cents more. Like the market will take it like literally that moment. But, when you have like alternative assets that are a little less liquid, it's just bill. It's just not like that. So, I think when the market started getting flush with cash and people were buying left and right, I think a lot of people were like, hey, hasn't always been this way. Like a lot of times I'm like working and whatever excess income I have, and then maybe I sell an extra $50 card. I can buy that, $100 card now. Like, that was a lot of it, The bigger deals we did, like, those are few and far between. Like, they didn't happen all the time. When they did, it was like months of negotiating. It was a lot of back and forth, just making sure we're both satisfied. Like, today, you got people that just snap by $30,000 cards because, one, they got it, and two, like, it's just people aren't scared of sort of the risk as much as they were. And I remember there was probably like 2017, 2018, like right around that time period, I was just like, all right, like I'm all in. Like I'm all in Pokemon. Like screw everything else. Like I feel so confident in this hobby, the niche, just the fact that like it's going to go up. And you got to remember that's based on those prices then, that I was just literally like, all right, let's just do this. And so I just committed more, probably my discretionary income to that. And I think it paid off really, really well. But at the same time, like, I certainly get the hesitancies that a lot of people have, that they're just like, like I've got $800 extra money a month I can do with, like I can take my, kids to Six Flags, or we go to the movies or this or that. And you got two kids going to the movies, could be like $100 a night, so it's like, you got to really think about it. And so, people, they don't want to, they want to be careful with what they have. People work hard for their money. And so I think you just got to, it's really hard to get to that point. When you go through this last year, just of pure just explosion, where things are just like skyrocketing. I mean, look at Total. He's just like gumdrops under the water, just like that song's playing in my head. Now it's playing in yours, and you can't do anything about it. Raindrops, gumdrops. Oh man, I'm gonna stop. And it's like, if you're going to give up those experiences with your family or your kids, which I don't think you should ever do. I don't think you should ever sacrifice some of those moments. Oh my gosh, come on, man. That you want to at least like have a return for it. And so the goal is, if you're collecting as a hobby, you only put in what you can lose. You only put in what you're willing to get away with. And if your goal is a return, then obviously you're trading dollars today for more dollars in the future, or protect against inflation, however you want to look at it. But your goal is to trade, maybe something that isn't quite as good today for something better in the future. And that's why you need an ROI return. That's why we're in just this cycle of an economy, to tell you the truth. It's nuts. So it's this weird divide of like, how are you going to approach the hobby? Are you going to be like that? Or are you just going to be like, hey, like I love that Hitmonchan 9, like, or this 10, I mean, I don't know how much this is going to go for, but it's hopefully going to help pay for this sub, since it's cost $20 a card to grade. And when I'm recording this, you literally can't even grade right now. Oh my gosh, how many Hitmonchans we got, dude? Like, we got Floyd Mayweather up in here? All right. Larvitar 10. Oh man. Some things just never end. It's going to be fun going through this, but with Neodestiny being a bigger set, 113 card set, there's more cards to collect. I think the good news is I probably have every common in a 10, maybe like 10 times over, if you know what I mean. So I guess that's a good thing. Unfortunately, these are all first edition. I really hope my unlimited Neodestiny sub does well. Is that like not the saddest Ladybug ever? Like, that's on par with like Cubone, like the sad Cubone. And I think there was another card I literally saw in Aquapolis like very recently that was super sad as well. Like dude, oh my gosh. Tomokazu? Like, hey man, like, I wish I would have been with you when you were, these are all 10s, right? All right, I wish I would have been with you when you were drawing that, man. It sounds like, I mean, that's crazy. You get a stack of 10s like that. I mean, it's hard to complain when some cards don't get 10s when you just hit out of the water like that. But I'm really nervous about my Neodestiny Unlimited returns because for whatever reason, it's been really hard for me to find Neodestiny Unlimited. I think I bought maybe a box or two off of someone that's like already been open. Beautiful Vulpix there. Oh, that's adorable. And I think that's what I'm like really hoping for. So it's like if those don't do well, I think I'm in trouble. And what I did is, instead of paying cash for it, I think I traded the guy. It might have been like a Neo Rev Hollow Bleed First Ed card, and maybe cash or something else. But I think the time, maybe the value was like $800. I don't remember, but I know the Neodestiny card was like maybe 400 or 500 of it, or 300. I don't know. I mean, the Neo Rev double hollow card. And I know that was like a good portion of it, but I remember I did the deal because I was like, you go through what you have, what you don't have, and it's like, all right, well, if I don't have any Neodestiny, I can either open packs or I can buy sets. And I said this a couple times, but literally the best way to get 10s and to, build a set and all that, it's not to open a booster box, because you can open one booster box and you can have terrible luck. You can get off-center cards, you can get a bad cut, and PSA, I think, as we know, they're going to grade those all the same. So if you get 1 9 or 2 9s or whatever, like, you're literally just going to be 9ing all the time. Hopefully that's not bad for anything. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, hopefully that's not like some derogatory like dang, because I don't know. So you just gotta be careful. But I think the best way is literally buy complete sets or buy an open booster box. You can pay like literally like 15-20% of the box value for not just the hollows, but not the hollows, but like the uncommons, commons, rares. Like, to me, that just makes perfect sense, because people are buying boxes for hollows. Like, how many times you watch a booster box opening and they're like, they take these uncommons, they just throw them off to the side, or like they just leave the hollows. All right, one of my favorite cards in Neodestiny, Imakuni, baby. Imakuni right there in the middle, Lucky Stadium. So this is like our one. Like, I'm gonna set that off the side. I don't like selling my Lucky Stadiums. Oh baby, oh baby. I'll keep this in here, the 10 stack, because I'll pull it out and put it in the set. But the 9, I like keeping the Lucky Stadiums. They just feel a little lucky. That's like our English version. I think we got another one. It's a Black Star promo. But I love the Imakuni piece. He was such a pivotal part of Pokemon, and just everything he did for the hobby. And he was like the crazy Japanese like guy that was always like here, there, everywhere. It's like, and it's just crazy how the dude like just doesn't age. Like, it's like he's still just like going like so hard all the time, and he's got his little face mask. If you ever go to Worlds or an event, it's like Imakuni will probably be there, and he'll be running around having a good time. And it's kind of nuts how popular he is. And like it's like one of those guys, like, you got the crazy friend, and like you introduce them to people and you're like, hey, just by the way, I need to like preface something. It's like the friend you warn people about before they all meet each other. And it's like, you just accept them and stuff. So like, I'm like good friends with Pokemon Syndicate. He's absolutely bonkers and he's crazy. And if he comments on something, it's like, it's like, oh, that's Syndicate and stuff. But it's like, once you get to know him, it's like you love him. He's just a great person that just loves the hobby. Super into the details. There's things he'll teach you that you just don't know. But like, he's one of those guys that's like, if you're looking from the outside in, you might be like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? And then I think what's funny is like everyone's like accepting. So everyone that's known a while, they're like, hey, come on in. Like, they still look very inclusive, and want to make sure that he's loved and part of groups and stuff. But it's one of those things that's like, you got to get to know him first. And some of the times when people are just themselves, that's really the best version of a lot of people that is out there. When someone just doesn't hold back and they're just their true self, like, it's almost like you can just respect that more than someone who maybe is just trying to be a part of a group just because they like what that group is. Oh yeah, PSA 10, baby. We'll take that. Oh man, what we got, like 2 8s, a 6, and a 10. Oh man, we got a little bump somewhere. Same thing. You see it? I don't see it. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't see anything. No idea. I'll take a 6 every now and then. All right, there we go. There's 10. Last box, baby. Last box magic. Oh, dude, it is full. I was thinking maybe it's not full. Of course it's full. All right, here we go. 10s be with us. We need them. Not really. I mean, this is like an incredible PSA returns. Like, if we're just like thinking about this and how crazy, like how many 10s we've gotten, like this is nuts. Like this is nuts. And I think I was focused on a lot of storytelling here, just like what's going on in the hobby, like what's all going on. This is nuts. I mean, like, yeah, we got a 6 every now and then. I mean, it's so hard to go 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. Zach needs 10s. No, they don't know it's my card is getting graded. But you know, I feel like some of the 6s may have been like, we can't give them all 10s. It's just too many. It's too many 10s. He's powering up too much. He's got all 5 Infinity Stones. What's he gonna do when he completes Neo Rev and Neodestiny? They're like, that one, what was it, Venonat, or that one Sea King or whatever. We're giving those all 9s. He can't complete the set. Dude, that's gotta be the way. It's like, all right, there's too many 10s in here. Let's pull a couple of these out. Oh, isn't that just an adorable Growlithe? Man, if I had like a little puppy like that, I mean, it's like almost like Tiger King. Like, you know, you gotta, man, that'd be adorable. But I think Arcanine would be cool too if it was loyal. Like, but I mean, we all know cats are crazy, cats are nuts, and a tiger, man, that's like a cat that just answers to nobody. It's like, what if we just made all cats big and super strong and just let them run around? It's like, yeah, they're going to go and they're going to kill you because they don't care about you. They might love you, but they want to be right more than they love you. Oh, nice. PSA 10. Last card. What are we going to get? Uh-oh. I think I know what this is. It's going to be a 10, right? Hey, Hitmonchan. I would not have guessed a Hitmonchan. I was like, that's going to be a Growlithe for sure. All right. Let me put all these to the side so you guys can see. Maybe we can scoot these over just a little bit. All right, you ready for this? These stacks right here, these 4 are 10s. These are 9s. You see how tall those are? Oh, yeah, a little city. That looks like a skyline right there. And those are the 8s and lower. So you can kind of see that's what they look like. That is absolutely stunning. That's incredible. That's nuts. So, yeah, I thought we had some good card talk there, a little hobby talk, just kind of whatever came to mind. I think some of the dialogue in the middle was pretty solid, too. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, I think I probably got a couple months till I have a lot more subs come back. But I do have a lot of subs right now. I'm just kind of churning through. But there probably will be like a 3 or 4 month period before like I get like another like 5 or 6 subs back or something. So we'll see. PSA. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.